I was just watching CBeebies. I work with children, so it's important that I know what they're being taught. As you know, I'm currently reading the Quran because I had an influx of Muslim followers and they were all saying the same thing, like, please, please, please just read the Quran for yourself and then make up your own mind. And I thought that was a really good idea. As someone who has lived in Islamic countries for many years, and I've seen the cultures and I've seen the traditions, and what we in the West are taught about Islam is not what I have experienced living in Islamic countries. And so I thought, yeah, I'll read the Quran. And I have lots of thoughts about the Quran so far, but I need to read a bit more and then I'll make some content. Because I have a lot of questions and a lot of comments, points. However, on CBeebies, there was just this beautiful segment of a Muslim father taking his, I'd say, 3-year-old daughter to the mosque for prayers. And you saw them go in and you saw them, you know, she was next to him on her own prayer mat and they were doing the prayers. And it was really, really interesting, actually, as an adult watching it. And I said to Ian, why did I think you couldn't take children to a mosque? Why was that in my head? And he's like, I have no idea why that was in your head, because people take children to church all of the time. I bloody loved Sunday school. I was very, very into Sunday school. And I thought about it and I was like, I'll tell you why. Because I grew up reading the fucking Daily Mail, who, whether you know it or not, Islamophobia isn't so obvious, but it's there. It's that covert racism. And so you build up all these biases. It had never occurred to me that you could take children to a mosque. I have been in Islamic countries. I've seen children go into mosques. But why did I think in this country you couldn't take children to the mosque? And also, it is really worth noting, because the optics of this are very, very clever. I do like the way the BBC works. The dad was Muslim. He was a brown person. His wife, or the mother of his child, was a white British person. He was a brown British person. She was a white British person. I have no idea whether the wife was Muslim, had converted. It's not really important. The little girl that he took to the mosque was very blonde, blue-eyed, which optically is very clever, because the white children will relate to that and pay more attention to that, because we all have inherent narcissism even at a very young age. Babies respond to babies that look like them and that kind of thing. So from a developmental psychology is my thing. So I'm like, that's so clever, BBC. Well done. Maybe if we all watched CBeebies and stopped reading the Daily Mail, we'd have a bit more kindness. But yeah, why did I think that? Why? Because the media told me to think that. And I'm really working hard to unpack a lot of the biases that I didn't even know that I had. And yes, CBeebies has better journalism than the Daily Mail.